Welcome to another episode of the Mason Movement podcast. My name is Bee.
And I'm Jessy.
And today we're going to talk about breaking out of toxic relationship patterns.
Yes, we're going to be giving you guys the full scoop of our own experiences around toxic relationship cycles, and then kind of taking you through like how to identify if you even are in one. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So, we're going to dive right into this.
Everyone's favorite topic.
Yeah. It's going to be like a jam-packed episode, and yeah, lots of little golden nuggets in here. So I guess we'll start with B.
Thanks,
I'm going to put you in the spot.
Thanks, babe.
So tell me a little bit about what was the pattern in like the toxic relationship cycles? Because we all know there's multiple cycles and there's more than one relationship that you probably experienced this in.
Yeah.
So what was like the pattern like for you?
The common thread that I see throughout all of my relationships, whether they're like serious or I'm even thinking about to like flings, that I had like even in college, or like if I dated someone for like a couple weeks or even a couple months.
Yeah.
The common thread that I see for myself is me giving away pretty much all of my power, allowing the other person to really just take the center stage, to have everything sort of be about them, because I have parts of me that were uncomfortable with being in my light, really having that shine through and having other people see me actually, because I wasn't able to fully see myself. And yeah, that's like the biggest one. Just really causing myself to be like invisible actually too.
Just like sitting on the back burner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so comfortable there for so long. It's wild. I can even trace that back, if we really want to take it back to like middle school even, and probably before, but I'm thinking about like that's kind of when the eating stuff started to flare up, and I've dealt with eating disorders, but that's when it started to flare up, and that was definitely me trying to make myself small, so to speak, and be like float into the background, be very invisible. So this is deep. This cuts deep, and I think that this is true for a lot of women.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like we have very paralleled experiences, I think.
Yeah.
With
What about yours?
Toxic relationship cycles. I had a knack for picking out relationships that really just depleted me of everything that I had.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Because I strongly believe like a giver needs to be with a giver, like with you, it was such a like stark contrast to everything that I'd ever experienced or known. And where we're both giving each other the space to fill our own cups, but like we're also like pouring into each other to where like our cups are always overflowing. Our cups are filled, they're never just like there's nothing left in the tank, and that's what I had historically experienced in other relationships. And like that was also like my own shit. It wasn't all on the other partners and like, flings or whatever, but like I tended to like gravitate towards people who just like saw what I brought to the table and like how I am so generous and loving, and I will go that extra mile for you.
Right.
And maybe it was like partially them also in the beginning like giving that same effort but then becoming really complacent, and then like I just accepted that complacency is like okay, and then like I would just like keep going, and it in hindsight I feel like the pattern was like I felt like I had to do all of this extra stuff to be loved. Like I need to like earn this love. And obviously that stems back from like childhood. Like that's like a deep wound that had to be healed and felt, all the way through.
That's powerful. That's hitting
Yeah.
me right in the heart chakra.
Yeah. Yeah. So it goes deep, and it's also like, I think not just like a childhood wound, but just like generational trauma, like, my mom had issues, finding a good partner and somebody who, like, so I didn't have like that example either, and I think it obviously generational. It goes beyond my mom, like
Yeah.
what was, reflected to her, her mom,
Yep.
her mom,
Yeah.
it goes back.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about the same thing, like with my ancestry. And I was just we got a tarot reading, you and I did,
Yes.
the beginning of this year. And I was listening back to it because I like to record those things, because sometimes, you can listen to it again and you hear like new things.
Yeah.
And I was listening today, and she was talking about like ancestral wounds and how our mothers and our grandmothers like had once accepted really terrible, like toxic relationships for the family, for the sake of the family,
Right.
doing
Ooh,
this
yes.
because, okay, we have kids, or you have this income and I don't really have much, and this is just the way that it is, and I'm going to like not honor myself and my needs because I don't, deep to my core, I don't believe I'm worthy and deserving of that. And I can see that, through and through in my family system. So I think even just thinking about my past relationships, there was a part of me that got really complacent, and I stayed in really terrible relationships for years, getting so like, okay, well, this is the way that it is, and just unconsciously taking on the patterns and belief systems of my family. And once you become more conscious and more aware and more awake, then you start to, you wake up, and it's a gradual process. It can't all hit you at once. I mean, that would be like a lot of fucking voltage, going into a system that can't handle it if it were to happen all at once. So I'm appreciative of the process, but damn.
Yeah, damn. No, yeah, literally, I feel everything that you just said, like through and through. Just, yeah, like I, send love to the version of myself who stayed in relationships for far longer. Those relationships had expired, and, I had stayed in it for, a year, 2 years longer than I should have. But that's what I thought that I deserved at that time in my life.
Right.
So what was like the breaking point for you? Like, what was like the defining moment? Like, did you have just this epiphany? Like, how did you break out of the toxic cycle and recognize like this is a pattern?
Well, I feel like people can try you just only so many times.
Fuck around and find out.
But no, it wasn't even just being like played so many times. It was also like me committing each and every day to myself and the embodiment work that I was doing at that time. And I was, yes, like turning on, I was like sober from alcohol, turning on like different parts of myself, I guess, like in that time, and it was just a couple years, I feel like, that I was sober. And then I really started to like get into like more like conscious self-love, and that's when I started doing the embodiment practices that literally changed myself from the inside out.
Right.
And because I was doing like so much of this internal work, and my partner at the time was not, they were fucking around, like I can look at that and be like, oh my God, I was such a victim. Like, how sad. Like, he was out there going to, do whatever with other people. And like, here I am trying to make myself better. But like, how beautiful is it that that was happening? And I didn't really have to do much to like find out all of this. Like, the universe presented all of these secrets that he was keeping to me in like a really clear way. So like, because I was doing all this work, my intuition came out so much more clear than before. So like, I knew, oh my God, something's not right.
Yeah.
Found it easily. easily, you know. So that was a big moment for me. And then it was like, okay, yeah, I find this stuff out. The universe gives me these nuggets and this evidence. So what do I do with it? And that's where I was at a choice point to be like, am I going to choose myself and leave this terrible situation that I've been in for years and years? Or am I going to stay and continue? Because literally nothing is changing. And that's what I can, you know, I had found stuff before, but I wasn't at a point where I was able to.
You just excuse the behavior.
Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't love myself as deep as I did when I chose to leave, you know, and that's okay too. You know, it's not like we're going to leave, you know, it's just like, with getting sober, you know, like I think a lot of people like relapse, you know, but like there's no shame in that. Like the main thing is like you get back on it, you know, and you achieve that clarity, and eventually, you know, you don't ever have to go back to whatever that substance is. Like that's kind of what it was for me. Like I had caught so many like things, red flags, cheating, whatever, and then and I kept going back, and then finally it was like, no, like I don't choose to tolerate this anymore. Like this is a choice, and I'm not going to choose this for my reality because I love myself so deeply. And like, I don't know what's after this, but it's got to be better than what I'm living in now.
Better than this. Yeah.
What about for you?
I think it was just like, I don't know. It almost felt like a culmination event. It was like, I had friends at the time who were kind of like giving me, you know, those gentle nudges like, hey Jess, what are you doing? You know, like this doesn't, you know, feel right, and like I'm not in it, you know, like what are you know, and then just absolutely I just had like this breaking point. I was totally burnt out. Like my cup was depleted, and I remember voicing these things to this partner and them essentially being like, okay, well, like I still want more, you know, give me. And it was just like, okay, like who are you going to choose this time, Jess? Like it's time to like choose yourself. Are you going to like keep choosing this person who's just like taking and taking and taking and not giving anything, like not hardly anything? I mean, the bare ass minimum, like you deserve more than that. And I just realized, I was like, I can't keep doing this to myself. Like, there has to be like, I know like what I bring to the table, you know, like I built the table, I carried the table, I bring a lot to the table. And you know, I was inviting these people into my life that didn't even deserve to be in the same room as the table.
Damn.
So it was just that realization of just like, yeah, you don't get to sit with me anymore. Like you don't get to like, no, I can't keep giving to you. I have nothing left to give to you. I've given you everything that I possibly can, and it hasn't been like reciprocated, not even like, not nearly on the same level. And like that was just like a wake up call, like, okay, Jess, like focus on you, like choose yourself. Like we're about to hit our 30s. Like we can't be choosing these kinds of people anymore. Like the caliber of person I am and the caliber of, you know, of people that I was choosing was just totally not in alignment.
Right. So it sounds like you had this aha moment just after like so much exhaustion.
Yeah, just so much like exhaustion and like realizing, you know, I was being totally like manipulated, and you know, it's just like do I really feel like this is okay, or am I just like doing it because this person like is suggesting it, and I'm like, you know, the rose-colored glasses fall off and you're like, this is not me.
Yeah, and that's like making me think about like tips to like give people that might be questioning if they're in a toxic relationship, or if they're, you know, noticing potential like toxic relationship patterns. First, I want to say, if you're questioning that you're in a toxic relationship,
you probably are. You probably are. Yeah.
The other thing that I want to say is like, you know, I can look back now that I have so much clarity, and like hindsight is always 2020, but like I can pinpoint very like distinct moments when I had like a gut feeling that something was a no.
Right.
And I said yes anyways, despite what my body was telling me.
Mhm.
So if you know, are getting those like sensory hits and
Mhm.
those sensations, that's your soul speaking to you through your body. So
Mhm.
don't dismiss that.
Yeah.
Because if you do, just, you know, from one person to another that's been through it, like,
Yes.
you're going to have a lot more work to do. And that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
I'm still doing the work. We're always going to be doing the work. But if you, the quicker that you can catch on to like your intuition and what your body is saying, oh my God, you're going to be, you're going to be flying high.
I would say too, you know, like check your energy, you know, before, during, and after interactions with people. And this doesn't just go for romantic relationships, it can go for family, friendships, whatever. Like, check the way you feel after being around these people. I think that's like a really good indicator. If you're feeling like, wow, they just sucked the whole life force energy out of my soul, like, just tag it. Tag it.
Yeah. Notice the patterns. You know, some of us, like myself, used to, you know, kind of like bury our heads in the sand. Like, time to be honest with yourself. You know, this is, if you're listening to this, doesn't matter if it's now, it doesn't matter if it's 5 years after this has been put out. There's no time, there's no space. Like, this is your sign to get clear.
Inventory the relationships that you have.
For sure. So. And if you'd like to go, you know, deeper on this, we have so much more, like, obviously wisdom and knowledge and just really precious tools that we can give you. So head on over to themasonmovement.com, schedule like a free vibe check with us. And that's basically just like, you know, 30 minutes. We're talking, you know, we're getting to know each other. We're seeing if this is a good fit. You're telling us, you know, what you want to work on. We're seeing how we can help you. And so don't wait, for sure. Go ahead and do that.
Yeah. And also, you know, like, if you just want some like freebies too, like sign up for our email list. You know, we send out free resources, you know, almost on a weekly basis now. So those are great little nuggets to have to get you through the week, and meditations, things like that.
You can get that all from the website for sure. All right.
Yeah, I think that is our episode.
That is. So go do your breath, go do your movement, go do whatever you feel called to do. Have an amazing rest of your day or night, and we will see you in the next episode.
See ya.